Captain's Log, Subdate 200701.8. I received a message from the satellite of unrequited love, my former home. The station has been abandoned. I have sent word to Subfleet, and they are going to lay a flag on it. For me, I fully intend on repurposing it to cause utter annihilation. Welcome everyone to the Halls of Injustice. Based on what we're going to cover today, I'm starting to think this should be Halls of Justice and yesterday should have been Halls of Injustice. But we'll go with it because I'm sure some will say, regardless of the sentence this man got, that perhaps the sentence isn't quite sufficient. Before we start, there is a new video on Moistky Live concerning Chaz or Chop, and I will be streaming on Twitch tonight, some American Truck Simulator. It was meant to be yesterday, but honestly I couldn't be bothered. Either that or Assassin's Creed 2, because I am working my way through those, okay? Link to both down below. So today I'd like to talk about Peter Williston from Alabama. Peter Williston was a 17-year veteran for the Birmingham Police Department in Alabama. That is quite the lengthy service, about to be undone by an error. Oh boy, quite a severe error. So yesterday when I mentioned we're going to do one on a police officer, yeah, we are. This is Peter Williston, his mugshot of course, looking absolutely spiffing in his new uniform. Peter Williston had a stepdaughter that he raised from the age of 6 until, let's say, 2 years ago. She's now 26, so for 18 years he was in this person's life. Possibly a little less, we'll get into that soon because she did move out. Peter Williston, when she was 14 years old, while claiming that actually this was when she was 16 years old because that falls in line with Alabama's consent laws, got intimate with his stepdaughter. His belief was that by doing this he would deal with her needs, yeah, so it wouldn't impact her schoolwork, because, and this is not a joke, he wanted her to not date anyone or risk getting pregnant, and his only solution for that was Peter Williston. So during the trial, he had claimed over and over again that she had approached him. Sadly, there are witness statements that say otherwise, one of which is from the very stepdaughter along with others, 3 others, that confirmed he had forced a breakup between her and her then boyfriend at the age of 14, not 16 as he kept on saying, well, he really did commit to this one, and that they then, to make things easier, entered into a, air quotes, mutual agreement, end, air quotes, for him to help her so she wouldn't have to worry about her issues at school. With him confessing during the trial, it was not the best thing to do. Hindsight's always very helpful. Totally fixes this. This is by definition of what he did, and I'm sure many of you have already guessed it, an abuse of power, because he wasn't just a father figure, but he was also a law enforcement officer. Because he was in charge of the home, they did as he told them even at such a young age. This began in 2008. He claimed it was 2010. The difference here is 2010 would make her 16, 2008 would make her 14. Now originally what happened was, the stepdaughter had gone to her mother, but nothing happened. So a year later, at the age of 18, she moved out. It wasn't until many years later that when she went home for a visit she realised her siblings were older and there was a risk that this could happen to them as well. Due to a number of reasons, she had not gone forward, so she tried her best to live her life. She ended up getting married and having children, but didn't have them involved in her life because, understandably, it wasn't as if her mother was going to do anything to help. She had stayed with the man after all. So when she realised her siblings were at risk, she decided now would be a good time, to finally speak up on this and have something done. The Morris police obtained a warrant against Williston in May of 2018, with the stepdaughter admitting that what happened to her happened from 2008 to 2011. A month later, the police arrested Williston on a charge of first-degree grapes. He was at first taken into custody at the UAB hospital, where he was admitted for psychiatric evaluation after the charges were made public. The following day, he rightfully resigned from the police force. During the trial, Williston did admit he did things, and he regrets it, but he didn't really show any remorse for what he had done. It came across as somebody very cold who didn't quite get the point that he took advantage of somebody and he really shouldn't have, and there is a punishment. A severe one. It took the jury 30 minutes, by the way, to find him guilty. Now, he was originally scheduled to be sentenced back in April, but due to COVID-19, it got pushed back. But his actions then and how he perceived it then seemed to have changed, because when he was sentenced, he made a statement saying, "If I could take her pain away and carry it myself, I would. I admit I was wrong by being involved with her. It caused more pain than I could ever have imagined." The assistant district attorney who was dealing with this case did point out during the sentencing hearing that Williston and his defense team attempted to victim shame his stepdaughter during the trial, with the Jefferson County Circuit Judge Stephen Wallace agreeing with this statement, with him saying, "It's troubling and I want to put it to rest. The argument that she somehow invited this is not recognized legally or morally, and it does not make sense. The idea that Williston and the victim are on an equal plane, as far as her being able to consent, is ridiculous." So what did Stephen Wallace sentence Peter Williston to? He has sentenced the former police officer to the maximum punishment under the law. The maximum sentence is 21 years and 3 months. It took 30 minutes to decide guilt, and because of COVID-19, it took only a few moments after that little pushback to decide 21 years and 3 months. I'm sure many of us are going to be divided on that sentence. Peter Williston is currently 50. If he were to serve that sentence from start to finish, he would be in his 70s. Should he be entitled to parole? That is a decision for all of you. I personally, with sentences like this, will accept it, but do firmly believe those 20 good years he has should be spent on Titan after he's made into a eunuch. And just to point out just how much privilege this man held within his community, he was, in 2018, at the time of his arrest, the interim commander of the city's East Precinct. He was in high esteem. He had earned his position. But all the while, much like anyone else that has power, he abused it. And because he was a powerful person, somebody who was in trouble couldn't come forward. That is bent. That is corrupt. And that is unacceptable. I might make it 21 years on Titan and then 21 years in an ISO cube. Although that stasis thing might work too. You never know. With this case, I'm very much interested to know what you think, because I saw this yesterday while I was looking up notes for Seattle. This cropped up as a recommended and I couldn't believe it. So please do let me know in the comments down below. If I don't see you on Twitch tonight, I hope you'll have a fantastic Wednesday, and thank you all for listening.